Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today, very excited to check out Seven Wonders Duel from Repros Production. This is for 2 players, ages 10 plus. It'll take you about 30 minutes to play. And in Seven Wonders Duel, they have compressed 7 Wonders into a 2-player game. Now, you may be saying 7 Wonders already was a 2-player game. This is a game that is similar in some aspect, definitely captures the feel of Seven Wonders, but has an interesting drafting mechanism where you're going to be drafting from a pyramid. What am I talking about? Is it good? Let's open it up and I'll tell you. Alright, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Seven Wonders Duel. So first and foremost, we're going to get a handy-dandy rule booklet. It's 20 pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples. It's very well done. It's an easy read. You say 20 pages and you get a little bit intimidated, but let me assure you, most of this stuff is just large pictures of how the game's set up and different things in the game, or all the different symbols in the game. But it's a very well done rule booklet. Have you up and running in no time at all. Also, they included this help sheet, which is incredibly useful. It has all the different icons that you might be confused on, so you don't have to go to the rules. You can just look on here and be like, oh, boop, that's what that does right there. Big thumbs up. I love when game companies include these. Now, before we get to the game, I do want to give a huge shout out to the box insert, which is absolutely outstanding. Everything has its own place, and it's just incredibly well done. So, Seven Wonders Duel is a spiritual successor to Seven Wonders that is designed specifically for 2 players, where you are going to be drafting your city, a la normal Seven Wonders, except you're going to be drafting it from what is going to be, most of the time, a pyramid in the center of the table. So as you can see, I've got the first round pyramid set up. The second round pyramid will have second age cards. It'll be set up the reverse. And then the third one is just all crazy and willy-nilly. So, we're going to go over all the different components, and then we'll get into the gameplay. So first and foremost, we got our coins up here, increments of 1, 3, 6. When we first start off the game, we're going to start off with X amount of coins, which I think it's 7. Then you're going to set out all of the cards on the board like this for age 1. You'll be able to start drafting from the bottom. You're always going to take out 3 cards from each age, so you will never have perfect information on what is going to be underneath these cards. Because as you can see, some are revealed, some are not. Let's go over some of the different cards that you're going to have here. Many of them will look very familiar to you. So for instance, this one's just going to give you stone at the quarry. This one is just going to give you 4 coins, but it also has a little symbol in the upper right-hand corner here, which means some cards in the next round you will be able to make for free if you have this symbol in front of you. So it does have the system from the original Seven Wonders where you'll be able to build things for free based on what you bought in the previous round. Now, one of the things they've changed in this is in regular Seven Wonders, you pay coins to the person on your left or your right if you want to use some of their resources. However, in this game, you're always going to be paying the bank. You will pay the bank 2 coins plus however many of that resource your opponent has. So for instance, if you wanted to buy a stone and you didn't have any stone in front of you, you would have to pay 2 coins and then 3 coins if your opponent had 1 stone in front of you, 4 coins if they had 2, so on and so forth. So you could potentially stockpile 1 of a particular type, and then they'll have to pay a lot of money and not be able to build things. Now that can be negated by this bad boy right here. So this is going to cost you 3 coins to purchase. It's very expensive, but every single brick you buy is always going to cost you 1, no matter what. So it's very, very valuable. Also, you might notice that there is warfare on here. And as you can see, you have your warfare just like the base game. This one has a symbol in the upper right, which is nice as well. And how warfare works is it's actually going to be a little track right here. That's this kind of tug-of-war track that's going to be down here. And this is one of the ways you could potentially win the game. Because, yes, you can win the game by having the most points, like right there, because at the end of the game you're going to tally up your score. But you can also keep pushing your opponent all the way back over here. And as you progress, push them back warfare-wise, they're going to lose coins. So they'll lose 2 coins once they cross that line. They'll lose 5 coins once they cross that line. And also you'll gain victory points at the end of the game. So if you finish right here, then you're going to gain 10 victory points for pushing your opponent that far back. However, if you can ever push them all the way back, you immediately win the game. So that is one thing different, where you can win the game before the game is actually over. Last but not least, you're going to see science cards. And science is a little bit different. Obviously, in the regular Seven Wonders, you want to get sets of different things. This one, you also want to get sets. And by sets, I mean 2 of a kind. If you can get 2 of a kind of a particular symbol, so if you could get 2 of those wagon wheel things, then you're going to be able to draw one of these 5 random green tokens right here. And as you can see, these are going to change each game you play them. Variability is crazy in this game. And they'll do various different things. For instance, this one will just be worth 7 points at the end of the game. This one will make it so each one of these green things you had is worth 3 points. This one will make it so building blue cards is going to cost you 2 less each time you build a blue card. This one just counts as one random science thing at the end of the game. And you're like, why would you want to have one random at the end of the game? Because as I mentioned, you can win with warfare, but you can also win with science. If you have 6 of the 7 different icons, you automatically win the game. So those are the 2 ways you'll be able to win the game automatically during the game, is either with warfare or with science. Moving on back to the components. Actually, I think we covered, the wonders, because yes, it's still called Seven Wonders Duel. You're going to start off with wonders, and there are a lot of wonders here. You're only going to use 8 of them, so you'll randomly pick out the first 4, and then you will set them on the table. And what's going to happen is, whoever's going first is going to draft the one they want the most. The person who drafts second is going to draft 2 of them, and then the third person will get the 4th one. And you build these much like you built them in the original Seven Wonders. You'll take a card, you'll draft it, you'll stick it under here, and you'll pay the cost. And now you might notice that there's some different symbols on these, which is very interesting. So for instance, this symbol means you get to take another turn immediately. So as soon as you build this, boom, you get to take another turn. This one, pretty self-explanatory. You're always going to have access to one of those on your turn. You got this one right here. That's one of my favorites, where you can steal 3 coins. Not steal 3 coins. The other player loses 3 coins when you play that. So essentially, if your opponent doesn't have any coins at the moment, you might not want to play that. You might want to wait later on. So you're going to set out those, and then you're going to do it again. So there will be 8 wonders out on the table grand total. And you say, what? That's insanity. This is called 7 wonders. That's because there's another aspect to this game where you are going to be racing your opponent to complete your wonders. Because only one person is going to be allowed to complete all 4 of their wonders. And once that happens, you're only allowed to make 7 wonders. So the other person is only going to be able to complete 3 of their wonders. There's lots of stuff going on in this game. So how does the gameplay work? It's very, very simple. It's very much like Seven Wonders. I believe it's $7 we start with, and if I might make that mistake. It's either 6 or 7. And then in your turn, you're going to draft one of the cards at the bottom that is face up. So for me, I'd start off and say, you know what? I know these blue guys are very valuable, so I'd buy that. I'd pay my coin to the bank because it's going to cost me 1 coin, and I now have access to that card. My opponent would go, and they'd say, you know what? I want Brick to be cheap for me forever, so he would pay 3 coins to the bank, and he would have that. Next, I'd say, ooh, what do I want? You know what? I'll go ahead and take this brick right here just so you can see what's going to happen. I want this brick really bad. He puts it right there. And now, since these 2 cards are not covered, you would reveal these 2 cards, and these become options for the next person to take their turn to draw those cards. So as you can see, it's going to, oops, is that missing? Yeah, I missed the card right there. Whoopsie daisy. So as you can see, when you take cards, there will be effects on what's going to happen. But anywho, you're going to continue to go until every single card has been taken. At which point, you will set out round number 2. Which will look something like that. And the person that has been pushed back the furthest on the warfare track gets to decide who goes first. You rinse, wash, repeat. Do it again for age 3. Once you get to age 3, assuming no one has won or lost the game based on science or warfare, you will tally up your points, and the winner of the game will be the winner, the person with the most points. And that, in a nutshell, is how Seven Wonders Duel is played. Alrighty then, Seven Wonders Duel from Repost Production. One of my final thoughts. Let's go to the pros, let's go to the cons. First, on the con side, the game is not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. First, an obvious one, it is a 2-player game. If you don't routinely get 2-player games to the table, well, then you're going to want to look elsewhere. Also, there will come some times where you will know exactly who's going to win before the game is over. You'll be like, oh wait, you have to take this card, I have to take that card, and this one's not going to be unlocked, and then you'll be like, oh, I'm going to win the game. And there's some anticlimacticness there, because there are different ways to win a game. You can win by getting the 6 different science icons, or you can win by pushing your opponent all the way back on the army track, and some people are not going to be a big fan of that. That's what I got. That's really all I got. I tried and I tried and I tried to poke more holes in this game, and I can't do it. Seven Wonders Duel is one of my favorite games of all time. I think it might be the best two-player game that I've ever played. This is going to give Mage Wars a serious fight for being the best two-player game that I've ever played in my life. It is outstanding. It is amazing. What do I like about the game? First and foremost, it captures the Seven Wonders flavor perfectly, and I love Seven Wonders. What do I mean by that? It's got the science, it's got the clay and the wood, it's got the blue cards that'll just get you victory points, it's got the cards that let you keep building on top of the card. So if you have this card, then you can build that card for free. It's got numerous different paths to victory, and each one feels well balanced. Also, it's variable. Each time you play the game, it's going to be a little bit different, depending on which wonders you draft at the beginning, depending on which of the green tokens are going to be out there when you double up on your science. I love the fact that there's different ways to win the game mid-game. Now, I mentioned this is one of the cons because some people don't like it, but I like that. I like the fact that you could just focus on science, or you could just focus on warfare, and you have to deal with that when your opponent does that. You cannot just let them push you to the brink on warfare because you will lose the game. Same with science. And I like that an awful lot, that it's just this delicate balancing act throughout the entire game. I love the drafting pyramid system. How it's like, I really don't want that card, but I really don't want to potentially reveal these new cards to you and you to just take them. So it becomes a decision. Do I want to get this card and just maybe sell it for coins, which I don't want to do, or use it on my wonder, which I don't want to do, or do I want to take this card and take the card I do want and risk that maybe new cards will pop up that are great for you and could really hurt me. I like that a lot. It's quick, it's compact, it has a fantastic box insert, it has a little help sheet, which is very useful. The iconography makes sense if you know Seven Wonders. Rule booklet's outstanding. Everything about this game is outstanding. Put a Bowers Best seal on this already, and if you play two-player games, go buy it. It's that simple. Seven Wonders Duel from Repros Production might be the best two-player game I have ever played. Simply outstanding. And I will say it, I told my wife this, this game has officially raised Antoine Bauza, along with all of his other games, to my favorite game designer of all time podium, knocking Matt Leacock down a notch. Seven Wonders Duel, outstanding. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, what is your favorite two-player game of all time? Now, I'm not talking about games that play really well at two players, but a game that is specifically, from the ground up, a two-player game. For me personally, Mage Wars was that game. Seven Wonders Duel might take over for it, but what's your favorite two-player game of all time? I also love Lost Cities. That's one of my favorite ones of all time as well. And if you enjoyed this review, I already said that part. Thanks for your time, YouTube.